how you going? It's Donna here, and thought I'd give a little update on how Coda is going. So Coda was a dog that we were working on healing him from his itchy, scratchy skin. He had a very dry nose too, and it ended up getting to the point where sometimes his dry nose it seemed like it was so cracked that it would actually bleed a little bit. So anyway, I did a session on him last night, and it was interesting that it was pretty much all about balancing chakras for him. He had 4 major chakras and a couple of minor chakras to be balanced. But the big chakra that's come up for him and seems to be consistent in every session is his root chakra. So anyway, I balanced everything that needed to be balanced, and that was pretty much most of the session. There was a couple of emotional things that needed to be released too. But yeah, I provided feedback to the owner, and she took a little while to get back to me, which was abnormal. But what had happened is when she got my message, she was about to go to bed. So she got in hold of me the next day and gave me an update on how Coda's going. And basically what's happened is, like, normally he has these nosebleeds, which she's able to stop pretty quickly. But it actually turned out to be some sort of arterial bleed or something. It just kept squirting with blood and it wouldn't stop even after an hour. So she got the dog to the vet, took him to a different vet, probably because it was an emergency and he had to be seen straight away. And he's being diagnosed with something known as nasal arteritis. So it's not arthritis, but it's arteritis. And what it is I've got a bit of a thing on screen here. It is an ulcerative disease of the center of the nasal planum in dogs, caused by immune medicated inflammation of the walls of the nasal arteries and blood vessels. So yeah, and the vet was really surprised that he hadn't been diagnosed with this before, because his dry nose, cracked nose, and occasional bleeding were real obvious symptoms. So it's quite sad that no other vet has diagnosed it before, but at least he's been diagnosed now and we sort of know what we're dealing with. But yeah, obviously the owner had been through a lot and almost thought that she was going to be putting her dog down, especially, you know, when there's blood squirting out of an animal's nose. It's not pleasant, and the last thing you want is a heap of blood loss. So she's let me know about that, and yeah, so I've sort of been looking it up a little bit, and treatment, she's gone with the steroids. It's initially to use steroids to reduce any inflammation and I guess maybe build the area up again. But yeah, and I did a little bit of my research too, and you know, he's going to need an anti-inflammatory diet, and they recommend also essential fatty acids. But yeah, I guess it put a little bit of I guess it was a little bit disheartening, you know, because you like to think you're healing an animal and then something like this happens. So at the same time, it's a positive. Like I said, at least he's been properly diagnosed now. And because it's like, unless you're properly diagnosed, you don't know what you're dealing with. So you can't be specific in dealing with that. And so it's probably going to get a little bit worse. Yeah, and I put a question out there to the owner saying, look, do you still want me to do this healing work? Because I guess in essence, for what we were wanting to treat, it hasn't really improved it, has it? Like, it actually seems to have gotten a bit worse. Maybe it's because it wasn't treated as it should be to start with. And I know that my instructor of the energy course that I'm doing always says the energy work combined with the scientific type veterinary work quite often works really well, and it can actually help an animal recover a lot quicker. But yeah, I've put it out there to the owner to ask if she still wants me to do treatments. She seemed positive when she messaged me saying everything that I've done so far seems quite spot on. And it could be a case of having to get those deep inner layers released before we sort of get to this more outer layer, you know, of this physical ailment that's now presenting itself. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, like I said, I can't say I feel great about the whole situation, because I'm meant to be healing the dog, and it does make you question things. But yeah, we'll see what comes from it. So anyway, that's how it is at the moment. what is, what is, what else can you do? But yeah, anyway, I hope you're all having a great one, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye for now.